And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 334 as we continue hashtag Titan Week here. And I'm joined by the superstar striker himself, Robbie Romero. Good evening, sir. What's going on, brother? How's everything, man?
Hey, how you doing, Ray? Everything's been going well. Just training for the Mount Olympus Rumble. That's gonna be a lot of cardio, a lot of strength training, all that kind of stuff.
Definitely, man. We're on that road to Mount Olympus. That again will be November the 16th. But before we get into all that, before we get into the Rumble and your mindset going into that night, I have to ask you the question as everyone that comes on. You heard the name of the podcast. It's called Respect the Craft. So for you, when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
Well, the craft to me, it's art. So respect the art, So everybody that comes in here, we're all just a bunch of artists trying to paint our picture and tell our story via what we do, because what we do is tell a story. Whether we get you to believe it or make you think, oh, is this real? Or I don't know what's going on. That's what respect the craft means. So whether you like me or you don't like me, you better respect the work that I put in.
Got you. No, definitely so. And again, we've seen a little bit of that mixed reaction at times. Sometimes it feels like you have that support, you have the Titan Nation behind you, and then sometimes it feels like it's that mixed reaction. But again, it's starting to show that respect is there. They're seeing that heart. They're seeing what the superstar striker is all about. But before we get into that as well, I do have to ask now about deciding to make that way to the craft. Deciding, you know what? I need to step in there. This isn't just something, this isn't any ordinary hobby. This isn't just something I'm intrigued in. I need to get through those ropes. What was it for you that made you decide this is the craft you want to proceed and get into?
So ever since I was a child, at the age of 8, I did boxing. That's what I did. And for my culture in Mexico, one of the three sports that we are very into, it's boxing, lucha libre, and soccer. So growing up, I've always wanted to be a soccer player, but my parents had other plans and they put me to be a boxer. So I was like, okay, look, to be honest, I didn't like it because it's very physical at first and you don't win. You learn to lose, and that's where I began to learn the meaning of staying humble and just keep working on your craft, like you say, and continue to progress, to get better, and change your movements and change your techniques to really get there. So I've been climbing this journey, this mountain of boxing, and I did it. I overcame it. I'm very good at it. That's why I am the superstar striker, baby. I'm gonna say nobody got better strikes than me. That's for sure. But now to the tradition of pro wrestling, like that's been in my heart. So although the boxing and all that's where I learned. That's the skill that I gained. I don't know, for some reason, like professional wrestling, lucha libre, that's in my heart. It's in my blood. That's why I'm able to do the things that I do, because it just comes out naturally. And so once I learned, okay, like this is what I want to do. I stepped up 2018. I was always looking for that perfect time. Everybody says, oh, I'm going to work, I'm going to save money, and I'm going to do it. And in reality, that doesn't happen, because you have to save for your bills. You have to save for this. A lot of stuff in life happens, and you're always waiting on that perfect timing. And you figure out it's never going to happen. The perfect timing is never going to happen. So that's when I say, you know what? I'm going to start this journey as Robbie Romero, and start my wrestling journey. And now what I've learned is now I'm back to square one, just like I was in boxing, where I had to grind up. So This is definitely a new journey that I have to pick up on, but I'm getting there.
Got you. No, but when it comes to that as well, like you said, having those options of, again, the respect for all three, the respect there for all three sports, when it comes to el boxeo, when it comes to la lucha libre, when it comes to football, that is something where, again, for la cultura there, that's such big staples, because it's part of that huge culture. It's part of that deciding to do the boxing route, going through that, and then deciding, you know what, I'm not just content with this. Now I want to try my hand in lucha libre. Finding that, then going through that, how was that transition for you? How was that moment of this is because it's a whole different beast when it comes to the cardio, when it comes to that? How was that transition period for you and finding, you know what, this is still something I want to do?
So I felt like the ring has been my home for a while. So when I'm in there, I'm comfortable. I'm not nervous, and I'm not gonna lie. Before I come out to the curtain and I go, like, I'm racing. My heart is racing. I have a bunch of goosebumps. I'm like, I'm mad nervous because I want to make sure that I get everything right. But when I
Gotcha.
go out there, it's just like out the window, and the adrenaline just starts going. And because in wrestling, I don't just focus on punches. I also got to focus on kicks. I got to focus on power bombs. I got to focus on any sort of maneuver
Yeah,
that my opponent wants to try on me. So it's like, okay, like I'm focused in all aspects. I got to focus on the crowd. You never know when the opponent wants to hold me and let them punch me or something. So there's a lot of factors in here. Uh, but I can say that the cardio is definitely more up there. But me being someone who has done 12 rounds, whether win or lose or draw, like I can go the distance. Never been knocked out. I've been knocked down, but I've never been knocked out. So I know that I can take the super kicks, the punches, all these different things. I can take that. And like I was never afraid of taking anything, because I was like, hey, this is like I can take it. Like you want to punch me, but just know that you have to learn whatever you give me, I'm gonna give you right back.
got you. No, that works there. And now, what that brings me to this is that hybrid style of yours, because not only do you bring again that boxing background comes into play, but you also have a little bit of shades of very much of that lucha libre in there. I look behind you and I see the late great Eddie Guerrero right behind you on that left right there. Oh, there you go. And just how much of that shades of that made you influence the style that you wanted to do in there, but also coming up with the design, the idea of I want to mix both somehow.
Well, Eddie was very great in mixing because you look at him and you think he's not a heavyweight, but when you during his end of his run, like no, he had the body,
Yeah,
he had the body, so he kind of mixed like all different types of styles in there. He mixed lucha, but he also picked up people and he
yeah,
like slammed people and he put people in submission holds, and so I thought that was very cool of him like doing a little bit of both. And for me, I'm like, I know I can strike, and I know I have one move that if I hit you with it, like my superstar cross, if I hit you with it, I know that's it, but people can see that coming. They can
yeah.
see a punch coming. So I like to catch sometimes my opponents off guard. Like, sure, I come out, I'm called the superstar striker, but when I'm in there and they want to get me in something and I like switch it up and I do a Rana into them or I go to the top, it's like, whoa, like I didn't see this coming. I thought he was gonna throw me a hook. I thought he was gonna throw me a jab. So, I like that. I like that very much. Plus, it also makes me stand out. Uh, um, I feel like everybody sometimes, wrestles the same way. So that's why if I try to wrestle the same way, my opponents are going to be most likely to, know my next move or know what
Gotcha.
I do because we fight alike. But if I fight different, because hey, sometimes I probably don't want to fly unless I have to. If I'm just going to throw you punches and catch you off guard, that's all I'm going to do. But if I really need to go fly, that's because I need to. I need to step it up. I need to kick it into that high gear. And to be honest with you, Ray, it's in the blood. Like I don't know how I do these things. I don't know how I'm able to just jump and get up there and just like it just happens.
Yeah,
Where some people have to like train and really get it. For me, like I had to like look at it one time and I'm like, okay. And sometimes it's just like boom. It's just
I
like
click. Yeah.
like a little voice telling you, go, do this, do that. Like catch him off guard like this. And I'm like just like, okay, let's go.
No, and it also again with that being said, like that having that style, having innovating in your own way here, mixing that, having that the strike, like you said, that superstar striker, but also mixing in those roots of lucha libre, mixing in different styles. Where also when you have to, and we saw it with Justin Bon Jovi at Savage Intentions, having to do technical a little bit, having to do whatever it takes to again possibly get that victory when needed. Um, with that being said, that also I can imagine reflects on your training And how was that process for you getting into? Because again, I can imagine the training you get for boxing, and then when it compares to finally stepping into this side, as much as the ring was comfortable, I can imagine learning the ropes and doing this was a whole different just beast for you.
Yeah, definitely. Because once the people think the ropes are easy, they're not. On the last show, Bon Jovi really like threw me, and I went, quarter rolled into the ropes, and you heard that crick sound. Uh, we were really going at it because we wanted that title. We wanted Andre Polino's light heavyweight title, and so that's what it meant to us. And so, like, for example, like I said, the ropes are, people think it's like something, like it's not. If you ever hit those ropes for the first time, you're gonna get bruised because your body's like, whoa, I've never felt this texture before. I've never felt this intensity, you hitting that, so your body's like, what's going on? And I get bruised very easily. um and then when you hit the mat and people slam you and they throw you, and they I think Tony, one time I tried to catch him off guard, and I went to him to do a hurricanrana, but he was strong, and he picked me up, and he slammed me, did me a power bomb. I'm telling you though, like, if anybody wants to get into it, you really have to try that ring first, because you can talk and you can be a character, but if you can't handle the ring, you're not gonna do this for a long time. So that transition, because when I used to get in the ring, it's just footwork, left,
Yeah.
right. I gotta turn. I gotta make sure I don't get knocked down. The last thing you want to do as a boxer is be down,
Yeah.
you know. And here, um, in wrestling, you have to work with everything. You got to work with the ropes, with the buckles, and if you're down, like, how can you get your opponent down to your level?
Yeah.
You know. But definitely a big change for sure.
For you, when you're in there now, you're making that transition, you're deciding to go with this. What was that moment for you that clicked that it's like, you know what? I got to keep going with this as well.
Um, let's see. Well, I see. Well, I love WWE, and I see a lot of, like you said, my heroes. Like, I got Eddie here, and Rey Mysterio right here. I'm still learning how to use this camera. Mick Foley and Edge in the back. And then you get to see new guys like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. My guy for me growing up was Jeff Hardy. And
Okay.
so when you saw him, you thought underdog. That's why everybody loved Hardy, because sure, he didn't win a lot, but when he did, it mattered, and it was and the roof blew off the place.
Yeah.
Then it was Daniel Bryan, and I thought, maybe it was a phase for me. Maybe I was like, I like it, I love it, sure, but maybe it's a phase. But no, as I started going to the shows live, you ever love something so much that you get goosebumps for it? So that's what happened to me. That I went to NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Uh,
Gotcha.
Triple H opened the show. I saw Finn Balor as a demon, but the match that really captivated me was Bayley versus now Mercedes, Sasha Banks, and that match was really good. But just being there in the atmosphere, like hearing NXT and the passion, that's what I am. I say it a lot, and I said it. You weren't there, but at the free for all where I was the standout, um, I told everybody, I was like, hey, whether you like me or whether you like me or you don't like me, there's one thing that we all have in common, and that's passion. Because what Robbie Romero is, it's passion personified. He is passion personified. Because I'm gonna go in there, and my passion is gonna go through the roof. The adrenaline is gonna go through the roof. Like, for me, what I love about this sport is the passion, the adrenaline, the fact that I'm able to connect with everyone, everybody. You make people get a feeling, so for me, my biggest fears is coming out and hearing nothing, hearing crickets, because I'm like, I'm not making you feel nothing.
Yeah.
I'd rather you hate me and boo me, because that fuels me more, and I'd rather you cheer me, because that fuels me as well, than to just silence.
Yeah.
To me, is like, no, I don't. And I get mad with the crowd, because I'm like, I think during the Bon Jovi, it's like they were kind of like confused of where to go, and I'm like, no, if you need someone that you don't like, it's gonna be me. So I'm like, hey, I thought we were in Hoboken. What's going on? I heard a lot of stuff about you guys, that you guys were loud and stuff, but I don't hear anything. And then you start What do you mean? And then you start making them feel a certain way because then they invest in you.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
it gives me fuel, you know. So if they start talking like I need the crowd. It's like my energy. You ever seen Goku? He puts his hands
Yep.
up. He can feel the energy.
Ain't that
That's
for spirit
who I
bomb?
That's who I am. I do not, I do professional wrestling for, yes, I do it for the glory, for the wins, for the championships, and for everything that everybody wants. But for me, it's the noise. It's the roar of the crowd. That's what I live for, and
Got you.
that's why I'm over the top and dramatic as your superstar.
Got you. No, that works right there. We got Casey liking in the chat, giving us the eyes. I guess he's watching. He's keeping eyes on this one right here. But as we continue now, we talk about using that roar of the crowd. And I can imagine in a night like this, in a few weeks' time, it is going to be Mount Olympus. And I can imagine that's going to be needed because in a matchup like this, where you have the Mount Olympus Rumble, where you're going to have a who's who of talent when it comes from TCW stars that you have in there, when you have the likes of as well, Wrecking Ball Legursky from the NWA making his way back to Titan. You have the debuting Steve Pena who's making his way to Titan. You have possibly, again, some of the best that are coming out, including the only one that we know is confirmed for that Rumble from TCW as well is the last entrant, which is Michael Fane. We know he's in there. Like it's situations like that. What does it come to your mind when you're thinking about the game plan when it comes to Mount Olympus on November the 16th?
My game plan is to survive because this is a different match. It's a different ball game. I don't need to get knocked down. I don't need knockout. I don't need to get pinned, submitted. No, this is a survival match. So it doesn't matter where I enter. It could be number one. It doesn't matter. As long as I survive, that's my strategy. So that's why I'm working on my cardio. I'm going, training with my new trainer, and I'm doing everything that I can to get that cardio up because this is about cardio and stamina. If I can stay all the way to the end, like that's where I need to be. That's my game plan. So even if I have to get away from the action for a bit, hey, look, I'm still in the match. I got to do what I need to do. What I learned over here is that whatever it takes. Same thing. Here or here, whatever it takes.
I was gonna say it's an ultimate. You can do the ultimate opportunities as well. That definitely was. He definitely made sure to do what it takes, but as well as the Latino heat, gotta lie cheat and steal your way to the top.
Those opportunities. Yep, absolutely right. So that's my game plan.
Got you. That is definitely I have to bring up because again, I can imagine if you stay to the style of being that superstar striker, using those strikes, you're good. You're not in harm's way at times, but you are someone that likes to fly. We saw at Savage Intentions, you were moments away multiple times of trying to hit the Spanish fly. That could put you in a predicament.
Yeah, I could be my own worst enemy in that case because I forget the goal at the moment. I'm like the roar of the crowd. I'm like right there. Like I wanna do something big and also teach Bon Jovi a lesson at the same time. But I forgot the bigger picture, which was win at any cost because hey, there's a number one contendership on the line. And hey, that's what happens when you lose your eye off the ball. And that was that moment. That moment changed everything. If I would have just hit him with a strike or my finishing move of the Superstar Cross right there, which is basically a gory special, turn him around and bow, it would have been it. But, I got overconfident. I just wanted to overdo it.
I know. Again, it was working. It looked like, again, multiple moments there. You almost had it. It was moments of, could this be it? Could this be it? And going there, that definitely, I feel like if it was done, could have been the execution, could have been it. Your idea of having that in your arsenal, is there a reason for having that Spanish fly? I can assume why, but for the people watching at home, why the Spanish fly would be a part of that repertoire.
Well, in reality, I just wanted to mock him, and I wanted to mock my Spanish in English. I wanted to mock the teacher, our professor, our teacher, Mr. Evander James. He hit that move. He was my first opponent officially on Titan, and he
Yeah.
hit that move to me, and it was crazy the way he did it. And I told Bon Jovi, hey, I'm gonna teach you what he taught me, and that backfired. So in reality, I was just mocking him, and
Yeah.
I paid for it. In reality, I have no business doing the Spanish fly. I can fly and I can do certain things, but everybody has their own way of doing things. And that was just one of those things where it's like, nope, it wasn't my time.
Got you. Again, it felt like it was almost there, but then
Yep.
again, we get to which is going to be our championship match. We'll talk about in a second. But we got Casey Lakin saying the lightweight division depends on us, and we have to build it up. But respectfully, I want that title for myself. I'll go through all of you to get it. As for the Rumble, I'll be watching for you. Well, there you go.
Well, Casey, I just want to let you know we were supposed to be in a fatal 4-way, and then that got changed, which is okay. Things change all the time. You've been posting your stuff on the internet, and you've been like keeping your eye on me, which is good. I like when the superstar striker gets all the attention, but I want to make things clear. This Robbie that's coming November 16th at the Mount Olympus Rumble, it's going to be a different Robbie, a more serious Robbie, someone that is going to make sure to keep their eye on the ball, because I need to do whatever it takes to succeed. And whether that is doing some things that I shouldn't be doing, I don't know, but I need to win more than ever. So, and for the Rumble, like, I have nothing left to lose. Like, there's nothing. The only thing you can take from me is my personality, but that's impossible. No one's gonna take this character away from me, and I'm gonna make sure I stand on top. So keep watching, because I'll be waiting for you. Because when you look for problems, guess what? I'll be right there.
There you go. And that is your message right there for keep watch. Not only Casey Lakin, but those of the Titan Nation as well. Once again, that is going to be Saturday night, November the 16th in Toms River, New Jersey, Mount Olympus. But I can also imagine a match you'll be having your eyes on, Robbie, is going to be this one right here, because I know you are going to be a part of the Rumble, but that TCW Light Heavyweight Championship is still something I can imagine is one of your goals when it comes to Titan Championship Wrestling. So I can imagine watching the Man of the Year, Andre Paulino versus Justin Bon Jovi, is still something you're going to be doing as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not in the sport to win championships, as a boxer, I won a lot of medals, championships. When I was younger, there's this thing called Golden Gloves, which I wasn't allowed to because I was young. But I was in the Silver Gloves, and I came close as well to winning those. So if you're not in it for the competition, I don't know why you're also doing it. Yes, to roar the crowd, but at the end of the day, it's also about winning championships and making a name for yourself. Because how are people going to invest in you if you're not doing the right thing? So I'm going to take my own advice on that one. But yes, all the titles are on my mind, all of them. The light heavyweight, the tags, PJ Savage title, like the world one, the main one, like all those are in my mind. And it's like a checklist. I'm gonna get to it when I get to it, and I'll make sure that when I'm there, I'm gonna give it everything I got.
Got you. There you go. And again, a very important note to all the champions: Robbie Romero will be watching.
Hey,
so,
they don't pay attention to me. They don't look at me. I'm in the locker room. I'm the people's superstar. That's why they don't like me, because I come out and I get a reaction every single time. I was supposed to be in Chosen. I wasn't even supposed to be in the roster. But guess what? I stand out. I was born to stand out. It's like they look at me and it's like, you're not meant to be here. But at the end of the day, I am. And I'm coming. And it's like, yes, my record's not that great, but I've been on almost every show ever since I stepped into a Titan arena. Ever since that free for all, I've been in every single thing, and I just,
we got Nettie mentioning it there. Number one pick. Look at that. Look at that.
I'm the future of TCW. So let's see what 2025 has in store.
Hey, that future is bright, but again, I can imagine having that victory right there will make it a lot more brighter. So again, guys, get your tickets now if you haven't already. Link will be in the description down below. And look at that. We see on that top left corner right there, certain someone is just already at the top of the mountain right there. So can it be a little bit of a premonition, if you will, for
I just
For
made it.
There you go. There you go. But as we continue here, I want to go into a little bit more because when it comes to that superstar striker, when it comes to how even your presentation of everything, you show that importance of your culture. Hasta with the la máscara que te pones, having that mask when it comes to coming out with the entrance. How important was that to have again, even little pieces like that when it comes to your presentation?
Yeah, so to me, presentation is a key component. You
Gotcha.
know, it's one of the things that makes us respect the craft. You got it, because in boxing, you can look beat up, and you can just focus on your conditioning and focus on your match that you're gonna have and your opponent, and that's it. Everything else is totally up to you. You can show up in your boxers, like literal boxers, if you wanted to, but as long as you show up for the fight and you give it everything you got, like, that's it. But here in lucha libre, why I love it so much, or pro wrestling I love so much, is that you focus on everything. You are your own business. That's how I see myself. I see myself as a business. John Cena was his own business. He's his own franchise, because now it's John Cena starting in this, Dwayne The Rock Johnson starting in this, and so many more people that are becoming franchises that are starting in other things. So that's who I like see myself as. You
Gotcha.
know, like Canelo, for example, he's turned himself into a franchise. You hear Canelo anywhere, and it's like, oh, that's awesome, that's great. Like, you know who he is, you know his logo, if he just shows up at a show, if he's on a game, if he's on a, like, whatever. And that's what I want for this Robbie Romero. And the only way that I can do that is if I'm my own business and I market myself. So me and my team, I market myself. I get my logos, I get my merch. And when I come out with the mascara, like, I want people to know, like, hey, yes, I did. Like, that's why I come up with the headgear of the boxing, to show them, like, hey, look, I represent all types of my culture. Like, that's one of the things that's I'm heavily on. It's my culture. When Canelo fights, he's like, oh, because I'm Mexican, that's why I get angry all the time. You know, we're just very proud of what we do. Like,
Yeah.
us Mexicans, we're very passionate. That word passion comes back again. So, for me, I just want to be that when people think passion, they think Robbie. It's one of those people. Like, no, Robbie's up there. Eventually with people like Canelo, with people like Selena, with people like Eddie, with people like Ray. Hasta even maybe this lunatic Dom. But you know what I mean? Like,
Hey, he's got something going for him. It's working out. He's in a good predicament right now. Just a little bit.
well, yeah, he's doing good for himself. I wish to see him one day across the ring. That would be fun. But
There have to be a battle to see who can keep the hair though, because I see a little bit of a little bit of a
well,
thing.
well, I'm gonna fight on it, because hey, before Peso Pluma, before Dominic was in the ring, I was rocking this hairstyle at House of Glory when I was training, and at the time it was curly, so I had like a curly thing
Yeah,
going, a curly thing, just like you. You got that curly. I had the
yeah,
curly,
yeah.
like, all the way to the back. Yep. So if we were like, you're like Peso Pluma, I was like, Peso Pluma like me. You're like Dominic. No. Dominic's like me. We're all ripping off Eddie at some point, but I
Yeah.
did it first.
Yeah.
But I
It,
did
it all
first.
starts with him. It all starts with him, no matter how we look at
Hey,
it.
he's our
But it all
grandfather.
goes
He's
with
our
the
godfather of wrestling when it comes
yeah,
to the Mexican aspect, and the entertainer that we want to be. So that's why everybody looks at him, in that way.
yeah,
Back to the mask though. So I come out with the mask, and I come out with the headgear. That's just a representation of my culture. That's a representation of who I am, and it's like, cool. It represents the hybrid. You
yeah.
know, it represents the hybrid, and I think it's a very unique idea. I've never seen nobody with it. Because
No,
I come
definitely.
up with my own mask, but like, I feel like a lot of people have masks. They're all very unique, but how can mine stand out? And I just
Yeah.
like that. That was one of those things where I was like, there you go. Because I'm gonna come out with the headgear and the mask. Oh, it's Robbie. He's coming.
Yeah, no, and that's something that even for myself, when I first saw you again, coming from a similar place, so seeing again, I've heard of hearing the next crop, as I like to call you guys, seeing what you're doing, and then to see that, I was like, okay, that stands out to me. That's cool. And again, There's a certain someone that again has that innovative side that again it's going to reflect doing things like that. I can see where it reflects to you. But before I continue with that, I want to make sure we say hello to the boss man in the chat right there,
No
and him
boss.
giving you that stamp saying Robbie Romero is quickly becoming a big star here at Titan. Definitely can agree. But
Thank you,
then
boss.
Casey Lycan having a comment saying maybe we need to fix that.
We'll see about that.
But what I was getting to when it comes to again that mask as well, when it comes to that showing that representation, showing that importance of the culture, showing your pride and passion for La Cultura there. It's great to see, man, because it's one of those when it comes to our heritage, when it comes to Latinos, when it comes to Hispanos, when it comes to that, having that and showing those little traits of it. It's always great to see because it's not just the, oh, he has to do it like this or has to do that. It's like, no, you have those because you also have those staples as well. We've seen you attempt because unfortunately, every time you try to hit the three amigos, someone breaks it up.
Like, well, that's a lie, my friend. I hit it. I think on usually I'm not gonna say all the time, but usually yes, that does happen. I try to add my own flair to it. I try to change the names, or like I said, I love the homages that I do. But one of the advices that I got from higher ups or somewhere, so people are important is like, hey, like be Robbie Romero, and so. When we were talking about what's the difference about boxing and here, it's like in boxing, again, everybody fights the same and it's all about the heart that you have. So I bring the heart, but when I come in here, it's like, how can I be different? What is it that I can do to be my own self? And that's a hard thing in wrestling. Like finding your identity as a wrestler, as a luchador is muy difícil. It's very hard because you gotta like, oh damn, I gotta do something different, or I gotta do something that was created already and make it my own. Because I don't want, like, I love, yes, because I'm not gonna say I don't, but yes, I love Eddie and I love doing his frog splash and all these other things, but I also have to like figure out my place and how I can do my own thing. So when I do it, it's like, oh, that's a Robbie thing. Oh, that's what Robbie does, because then that's what you want. You want people to see you for you, And so the Three Amigos, I try, hopefully you catch it because you watch me closely, but I hit the guy, I put him to the top and I hit one. But before I do it, I want people to know my name. So I'm like, R.O., boom. And then when I do it, if you want to go back and catch, I do my pose. I go R.O., and when I land, I line like this. I don't slap out. I take it like a man and I line like this. Boom, R.O., boom, double B, boom, I.E., boom, and I do 4. If I can hit it, Robbie Romero.
And that's what I'm saying, where I see you try to get to the last, usually where someone, unfortunately, the few times I've also gotten to see it or call it, have been in multi-man situations. Someone who are trying to finally get to that last piece breaks it up.
Yeah, or a match with Chini on the last Seaside show, I was able to hit it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's one of those things. It's like, hey, can I hit it? Also the fans, they want to see, because now they see what I do. And because there are things where they're like, make it your own. And I feel like I have. And so when people look at it, they're like, hey, is he going to hit all 3? It's like that edge of the seat. Like, is he going to do it? Because if he does it, great. But then it's like, who's going to stop it?
No, again, it's one of those where, again, it shows that, it gives that reaction and makes them start to see, oh, this is what Robbie Romero brings to the table. This is what we're expecting from the superstar striker, from that hybrid in there. Look at that. We got Aunt Tina saying this guy. And there we go. Billy saying it. Come see for yourself why Robbie is a rising star. Titan Championship Wrestling presents Mount Olympus Saturday, November the 16th in beautiful Toms River, New Jersey. What's going on? We got Lisa Carlin saying, hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Hey.
When it comes to that now, when it comes to, again, having that, making those marks and trying to also still have those shades, though, of having the little styles of the Eddies, of the Rays, finding those moments of being able to do that adaptation, but also defining yourself and finding who that was. How was that process finding who is Robbie Romero then? How was that making sure that you find your own identity in this, especially when, let's also break that barrier a little bit when it comes to lucha libre, especially for us? It's quick. Oh, you have to be like this. You have to be like this. Like a Latino in lucha libre tiene que ser así. It has to be either this or this, you know? So finding your own way and making that, how was that process for you?
Um, so for me, it was like, who is Robbie Romero? And like I said, I wanted to be someone who always showed passion no matter what, win or lose. Like that, like I always bring the adrenaline, the passion, the fire, el fuego, you know. Um, so for me, it was mostly like listening to just what the successful people did. So basically, a lot of them, they say, hey, you want to be successful, you have to be yourself, put up 1,000. That's the key. And if you, so the first step is knowing who you are as a person. So I know who I am, you know, and it took me a while to learn that, but I know who I am. And for a while now, well, when I was younger, I was trying to hide that I like wrestling, because growing up, it's like, oh, you like wrestling? Oh, like you know, people always bash you for it, and now everybody likes it because it's, you know, it's all so good. But I'm like, what are you talking about? It's always been good. Yeah, it had its moments, but at the end of the day, I feel like it was always good.
Yeah.
And I've always liked that aspect. So I finally broke out and said, hey, you know, I was like, no, this is what I like. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to continue to do. And I just, you know, followed my gut, you know, even my parents didn't believe in me, you know, so unfortunately I had to leave and make that path on my own. So when you struggle on your own and you pay your own bills on your own, and you do all these things on your own, you learn who you are and you gain the confidence. And as you gain the confidence, you're like, okay, cool, now I know. So when I started in the business, I wanted to be something that I wasn't. You know, I was looking for something to be, and it was hard to fill because you feel like you're playing somebody, but you're not playing yourself. But me, Robbie Romero, is just an extension of who I am. You know, it's up 1,000. You know, I'm over the top. I'm very dramatic. I'm very loud. I do my pose. Like all these things just click because I'm me. Because I'm saying, what can I do different? You know, what can make me stand out? You know, and because I did all that and I was able to learn these things real quick, that's how I was able to get on the radar. Because a lot of these things weren't handed to me. I had to go look for them. And when I found them, like boom, once I got an opportunity, I took care of it because I knew that I had to give it my all. And so the reason why people like Jeanette believe in my character, people like PJ Savage who helped me get into the Titan roster, but he didn't just help me. He wasn't like, Robbie, here you go, come over here. No, no, no. He went to a school in the Bronx. He did a seminar. I was there, and I did very well. I was not number one, which pissed me off, but I was number two. So I was still very grateful that I was on his radar. And even though I was already on Chosen, I was like, you know what? I'm still going to come to the free for all and show them why I belong here and not just, you know, this is someone who just happened to be. No, I'm going to show everybody this is who I am. This is what I'm about. And it was just easy because I knew who I was. And so now knowing who I was able to show everybody who I was. And so when I enter, I'm going to be loud because you're going to hear me. I want to make sure that the last person on the last row hears me, and I want to make sure that everybody has their eyeballs on me. And for some people, it may look what is it, egotistical, selfish. You can call it whatever you want. But at the end of the day, if you don't have confidence, you're not going to make it. So that was one of the things. I had to find confidence in myself, put the passion, and just be Robbie Romero up 1,000. That's it.
Gotcha. There you go. And I guess we got someone else that truly is impressed with you there, as we got Frankie Picard saying, hey, brother, Robbie, my guy. So there you go.
Hey, coach. What's up, master? Mr.
That's
Picard, my sensei. How we doing? Hey, you were just on the podcast. I saw that, you know, things were a little rough. You got my number. You just, hey, all I gotta say is just say the word.
You might want to be careful, man, because I was told to end that podcast because of certain comments. So we might want to keep this one nice and leveled here. So
that's what I do though. I see that I'm a business guy, you know, and I'm on Billy's side. You know, well, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna watch my words before Frankie knocks me out. But I'm on nobody's side, you know. But I am the calmer because I can do business. So if I can help Frankie, you know, with some things, and he can help me with some things, I think we can be very successful. But again, I don't know. It's just something I hit him up, and we're doing our thing, but that'll be for another time.
Got you. I'm not gonna dive into that because that is, like I said, I will want to remain as unbiased and neutral as possible here. I don't want any more issues than have already possibly started tonight. Um, but as we continue here again,
Ray. That's what we do. We Hispanics, we like the drama, we like the fire, we like the fuego. That's what we do. And hey, this business is built off of drama and fuego. So
it
let's keep
definitely
it
is.
going.
I'm not trying to get myself into any more trouble with HR because they're not too fond of me as of late. So I'm trying to make sure I'm all good because yeah, it's there we go. We got Jeanette saying Robbie's for the fans 100%. Well, he
Hey,
gave that mixed reaction. Sometimes he might be, sometimes hey, it
no, she said
depends on
I'm
the
for the fans, so I am. So now are the fans for me? I don't know. If you are, great. If you're not, hey, I hope you have a good show. Um, Jeanette, she's been, one of those people that really believed in me since day one, ever since I stepped into Titan. Her photos are phenomenal. So I can do my presentation, I could come out with my nice entrance, I could do whatever I can, but she really is like the cherry on top with those pictures and stuff. So I really thank her and everybody else in Titan and the production and Charlie for making all this happen, because again, everybody plays a role, in this, and for it to be successful, there got to be a lot of moving parts.
Oh, definitely so. Definitely so. So now, with that being said, again, the career is still very young. We're still very young in your career so far. But when you look back at the matches you've had, if you could pick one that you would say that defines that career so far, what would it be?
Ooh. Titan or
It
overall?
could be Titan, it could be overall, whatever you feel. Again, a match, it could be multiple. So you could do, if you want to do one of each, that
Okay.
works as well.
Yeah.
But just matches that you feel
Um.
truly define the Robbie Romero so far.
Okay. So the match hasn't come out officially on for everybody, but actually, no. I'm lying. I was gonna say the one with Bon Jovi. That one was pretty, like, I did a lot of the things that I usually don't do. It's a lot of new things that the Titan universe gets to see for the first time. So everybody should be on the lookout for that one. But I think my matches with Tony Chini in Seaside Heights 1
Gotcha.
and 2, uh, they're all over the place. Looking back now, they're all very entertaining. They're all very, like, I can change on you on the dime type of thing. But uh, Robbie Romero is that guy. So I can come out, you can all, like, cheer me. But if I do something and then you guys start booing me, that's when I have a problem with you guys. And then this is what happens, because the first time, hey, Chini was using a weapon and nobody defended me. Nobody defended me at all. They were like, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" And as soon as I drop kicked the guy because the match started, that's when I was the bad guy. So I was like, okay, you guys want to be, so it's like, you got to pick who you are. But I feel like my matches with Tony really, really set the bar for these events at Titan and the free events. They were all free events. So this was with a bunch of different people, a new crowd, So what we did in Seaside was get the eyeballs on the product, and now they're able to come to the shows and recognize who we are because of what we did on those three shows, and it was very historical. So that's for Titan for right now. My matches with Tony, and then my last match with Bon Jovi that should be out like very soon. Hopefully,
Very
everybody.
soon, definitely. Yeah.
That one was, I think it was pretty good in my eyes. Bon Jovi was one of my first matches here, and so, like, I kind of we know each other in a way. But overall, my career, it's gonna be. I had a match at the American Dream Mall, and I faced. I don't know if you know him, but his name is Buddy Thomas.
Yep.
He comes out with his umbrella. He's a little smug guy, which makes me look like a nice guy. So that guy makes me look like a nice guy. So over there, it was just so surreal that I was in a like, it felt like a big arena to me.
Yeah.
I had the crowd. We worked very well with each other. He did some stuff to me that really hurt. Like that boot that he throws in the corner, like a haluva kick, like
Yeah.
those things hurt, and people don't think so. But I got it with some of my punches. I knocked him out, and from the heavens, I did the superstar striker. Well, I was gonna call it the superstar plancha. There you go.
There you go.
And that was my defining moment of this year. That match alone, I think that one was very good, and I came out on top for that one. But yeah, so as a career as a whole, I'm gonna say that one just to be respectful to me. But for Titan, this is Chini and the stuff that I do with Bon Jovi. You get to see who Robbie Romero is. Hey, if I'm in the role of like, hey, I have to. You guys are cheering me on. Cool, I'm gonna take your energy. But if you're booing me, I'm also gonna take that energy. So
It works
I'm a
both ways.
complex character. I'm very two-faced sometimes, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I am the Gemini, so we'll see. I don't
And,
know.
like I said, I've been accused of certain things. Again, I'm just being unbiased, so it's okay. It just comes with us. It just comes with the territory. It's all
Hey,
good. Just comes with.
it comes with the job, all right, Ray?
But now this one is a little more, just because I can imagine it has to have happened once because of our craft here, and because of, again, the Latinos that we are. Um, has this happened? I can imagine at least once. Has anyone accidentally called you Rocky Romero?
Yep. Yep. I think our own manager, Steve Mack, he called me. He called me Rocky Romero at one point, and I'm like, hey, I know who you're talking about, but there's a wrestler named already, Rocky Romero. Cubano, my Cubano friend,
Yep.
he does very good work. But when they say Rocky, they mean dun, 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 dun. Like I know who they talking about.
Yep.
I see some. I'm not an Italian stallion, but I am a spicy Mexican over here. um, but I can see why. Um, and the people that call me Rocky, I think they see the passion that I have,
Yeah.
because Rocky gave it all. No matter what, he gave it all. And remember, Rocky didn't win in the first
Nope.
one. He didn't win, but that comes with it,
Yep.
so Titan really, and the Titan roster, the people that they have, really like humbles me and shows me, like, because in there we had to like kind of audition to get in there. Some of us had to really step it up and audition to be there. So that means that you are looking at the best of the best in pro wrestling in the New Jersey area, New York. It doesn't matter. But those guys are on Titan. We are the best of the best because we had to audition to get there. We had to do a whole day event to get in. I don't know how it was before, but that's how it was my experience. I was there with like, 50 other guys, and I was one of them, and I came on top. The first one to go straight from the free for all there was Adonis Stone. He was the first one to go to Titan straight after that. But then after him, I was like, no, I gotta be next, and I don't know how I did it, but I did. And
Yeah.
so I was born to stand out. And so when every time I come out, I hear, hey, it's Robbie Romero. He's one of the standouts. And I'm like, one of? No, I am the standout because I'm the only one here. Out of all these standouts, I'm the only one here. So, and that was of the opportunities that I got from Titan and Billy. Like, I just made it work. Whatever I'm needed for, I'm there. You need me to be on the podcast? Hey, I can do that. You would need me to go and do a trunk or treat with someone that I kind of dislike, Tony Chini. I make it work. Um, uh, So
Obviously,
whatever.
that must have been a little bit of an awkward scenario. Like, hey, yeah, I don't like you that much, but we're gonna do this nice event together.
Hey, it's for the brats. I mean, kids. And
Come on, Robbie. I don't know if that.
oh, come on, no, no, no. They were pretty nice for the most part, but yeah, I mean, hey, when we do these kinds of events, Titan specifically says no fighting till the day of the show. So
Yeah.
I wait. So if Tony wants to talk smack, I'm gonna wait because I do not want to miss my opportunity at being Titan. I'm not a higher up yet. I'm not nothing special to be like doing these things because, hey, as easy and hard, no, as hard as I came into Titan to earn my spot, it's as easy to be like, you know what, Robbie, we're done.
Oh, there
And
you
I
go.
don't want
We got Nettie confirming they made it work. It was awesome.
that.
There you
Natty
go.
was, yeah, she was ROBBIE Robbie. Oh, I love that guy.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, Nat was really like refereeing that day. She even had to like give us a little smacks here and there to be like, hey, calm down. Remember the contract. Remember you can't get physical.
No, but hey, you got to make it work at times. And no,
Uh-huh.
that
But
that
Chini,
rock.
when I see you in the Rumble, I'm sorry, Ray, but Chini, when I see you in the Rumble, tú vas a ver.
Well, that is also hopefully he makes it because it was announced as we were going live with this podcast. He'll be facing a man you faced as of recently, the real talent Jack Martins. So I'm
I
not
say it
sure.
all the time. I don't like Jack.
Yeah, you said it on the last podcast I was doing. I saw the comment. I
You
was.
want to know why? And Jack is not watching. You know why? Because Jack is not a company guy. Jack is a all for himself type of guy. So he's not gonna go to these things and really be for the people. But you know, to him, he thinks business and he wants to win. Which, hey, I get it. But look, the reason I don't like Jack is because he calls himself the real, the attraction. But at the end of the night, who were they calling? It was Robbie, Robbie, Robbie. They weren't saying Jack, Jack. I don't need my name in the song so people can hear it. I just come out, do my thing, and I get my guy to say ROBBIE, Robbie Romero, and I come out and ready to go. So yeah, he got the best of me. I'm not gonna lie and say he didn't, but he did. He caught me off guard. He used his strength and he drilled me with his finisher, and I took it. I got up. I didn't like that I lost, but I know that his strikes aren't better than me. His look isn't better than me. His character isn't better than me. So Jack, I don't like you. So hey, I'm not there yet, but hey, when I start racking up some wins, I'm gonna see you again, buddy.
There
And
you
Harry
go.
too. I don't like that guy either. I don't know how you work with him, Ray.
I, I don't know if you've seen the other podcasts I do. I don't like him as much because again, I don't get it. Jack Martins, I'll give it to him. He's a great prospect, as is Michael Fain. He's taking away 10 of their percent. I don't get why they agreed to that, but it is what it is. I must remain unbiased and neutral. I'm trying to be the journalist that Titan pays me to be. So I'm just gonna, yeah.
Fain had respect. So Fain is the guy.
I'm not stirring the pot. I'm just asking Robbie great questions.
He's
This has
just
been a whole
asking
thing.
a
I've
few
been accused the
questions.
whole week here. Shout out to my boy Toe in the chat for the Knucklehead Network. He said a word to you again. The comments you're making there about Jack Martins. But again, we shall see. That could be a possibility. We could see what happens. We could see what happens with Tony Cini. We could see what happens again when it comes to the Rumble. Because guys, if you haven't already, make sure you get your tickets now to see the Mount Olympus event that will feature the star-studded Mount Olympus Rumble. We feature multiple championship matches featuring the stars of TCW, all coming to Toms River, New Jersey. If you haven't already, make sure you get your tickets now. And also follow TCW on all of its social media right there. Titan Championship Wrestling on Instagram, at Titan Champions 1 on X. But Robbie, before we start wrapping this up and letting you go, I have one final question for you, hermano, and that is for Robbie Romero, what is the end goal, brother?
The end goal is to firstly do everything that I can in Titan. Win as many championships and get the respect of as many people as I can. But the end goal for me is to eventually hit WWE. So that's always been my mentality. That's always been where I want to go. I want to be the greatest sports entertainer of all time. Whatever that may be, that's the end goal for me. But for right now, since I'm in Titan, Titans is my WWE. So I'm gonna make the best out of it, and I'm gonna make sure that I turn some heads and get some eyeballs on the product.
Got you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you can see Robbie and so many more on November the 16th. Mount Olympus. See Robbie in the Rumble. Can he do it? Can, again, achieve the same goal as those legends back there? We'll find out on Saturday, November the 16th. Robbie, thank you so much for joining us here. And to everyone watching, come back tomorrow, 9 p.m. for a spooky edition of Respect the Craft. As on Halloween, we are going to be joined by the man that was in the chat earlier, Casey Lycan. So for that, till then, guys, as always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people. Respect the craft. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, everybody.